My husband's childhood sweetheart has attempted suicide again. To appease her, my husband actually asked me for a divorce. Can't you be a little more reasonable? It's just a fake divorce. I already promised you that as soon as her condition stabilizes, we'll get back together right away. What more do you want? Come on. I owe her this. In my previous life, I made such a huge scene in my refusal that his childhood sweetheart became so distraught she threw herself into the river. He gave me the silent treatment for 3 years because of that. Later, when I was pregnant, I accidentally fell down the stairs and, barely clinging to life, called out to him for help, but he walked away without looking back. Having been given a second chance at life, I did as he wished. Okay, I said flatly. He suddenly looked up at me. Get out. When he opened his eyes again, he found himself staring into the man's icy face, while the sound of a woman crying in the backseat reached his ears. My heart skipped a beat. I had actually been reborn. I was transported back to the day when Lu Jing and Iho had known each other since childhood, had a falling out. And he angrily ordered me off the car without a moment's hesitation. Perhaps because I was taking so long to move, his refined features betrayed his impatience. His tone was even colder than before. Jiang ran. Get out of the car. Don't make me say it a third time. A Yuan can't stay calm with you in the car. Let me take her home first. Then I'll come back to pick you up. This time I didn't make a fuss. I grabbed my bag, opened the car door, and got out without a word. It's not that I'm obedient. It was only because, in my past life, when I refused to get out of the car, Lu Jing dragged me out by force and abandoned me on the side of a deserted highway. I left my phone in the car. There were no other cars on the road, and a heavy rainstorm hit halfway through, so I walked home in the rain for 2 hours. When she got home, instead of an apology, he handed her a divorce agreement. Thinking of that, a wave of sadness washed over me. Seeing how tactful I was, Lu Jing froze for a moment. It wasn't until Su Ziyuan called out to him that he snapped back to his senses, then started the car and drove off. I looked at the graduate school offer I had just received from an overseas institution in my inbox. This time, I've decided to go. In a past life, I turned down the offer because Lu Jing decided at the last minute not to take the job overseas. But I didn't know that Lu Jing had chosen to work for a foreign company for Su Ziyuan's sake. Later, he changed his mind and decided not to go, partly because Su Ziyuan had returned to China. Su Ziyuan married the wrong man while abroad. She has suffered a mental breakdown and alternates between moments of clarity and episodes of insanity. When the illness struck, her memories remained frozen at the age of 18, when their love was at its peak. As soon as she found out that Lu Jing was married, she tried to kill herself by any means possible. For her sake, Lu Jing has left me behind many times to be with her. Around the time my parents passed away, Lu Jing was helping her with her divorce case and couldn't make it back, leaving me alone to face the pain of losing my loved ones. On our wedding anniversary, he left me alone at the restaurant and went to the beach with her instead. In a past life, after Lu Jing had taken her home and was about to come pick me up, she climbed onto the rooftop to take her own life. To appease her, Lu Jing agreed to divorce me, so Lu Jing suggested we get a divorce of convenience. I screamed and shouted in protest, hysterically accusing Lu Jing, but he just stood there quietly watching me lose my mind, and even accused me of being too selfish. Can't you be a little more reasonable? It's just a fake divorce. I already promised you that as soon as her condition stabilizes, we'll get back together right away. What more do you want? Come on. I owe her this. In the end, they didn't get divorced. Upon learning this, Su Ziyuan became so distraught that she jumped into the river and died. She left only one sentence. Jing, I love you. From the very beginning, you've been the only one I've ever loved. I'm so sorry. Without you, I no longer have the courage to go on living. I wish you and your wife every happiness. It wasn't until then that I realized they had once been together. In fact, they were even forced to break up. Ever since then, Lu Jing has been giving me the silent treatment for 3 years. He was completely absorbed in his work. When I tried to get close to him, He neither spoke nor rejected me. He just looked at me with a cold stare. Let me become the butt of jokes in our circle. Gradually, everyone started accusing me of being the villain who broke them up, a shameless homewrecker, and a malicious woman. Lu Jing paid no attention to any of this. I know he hates me for ruining his childhood sweetheart. Mental torment is far worse than physical torment. It can make life seem worse than death. Eventually, I gave in and asked him for a divorce, but he clamped his hands tightly around my shoulders. His eyes dark and fierce, and snapped. Jiang ran. Don't even think about it. Later on, I became pregnant unexpectedly, so I focused all my attention on the baby and stopped thinking about him. It wasn't until the anniversary of Su Ziyuan's death that I noticed a portrait of her had been placed in the room next to my child's nursery. I felt a chill run through my body. I didn't understand what he meant, so I went over to confront him, but he looked thoroughly exasperated. Jiang ran. Today is the anniversary of her death. I don't have time to mess around with you. He stormed off. Then, I received a message from the private investigator I'd hired. Su Ziyuan wasn't dead. I instinctively ran after him, wanting to tell Lu Jing the truth, but I was in such a hurry that I accidentally missed a step and fell down the stairs. Landing on my stomach, a wave of excruciating pain shot through me. As I lay there on the brink of death, I summoned all my strength to call out to Lu Jing. He heard it and stopped too, just when I thought I might be saved. Not only did he not turn back, but he actually quickened his pace as he walked away. I lay in a pool of blood, feeling my child slip away bit by bit. As despair consumed me, my heart is breaking, and I am filled with remorse. If I could do it all over again, I would never fall for Lu Jing. I want to love only myself. To my surprise, when I opened my eyes again, I had actually gone back in time. This time, Lu Jing, I'm doing as you wished. I wish you and your childhood sweetheart a lifetime of happiness together. I'm stepping aside. When I got back to the villa, Lu Jing hadn't returned yet. I went into the bathroom and took a shower, but the sticky, bloody feeling wouldn't go away. I rubbed my belly and whispered, I'm sorry, baby. I hope that in your next life, you'll be born into a family where your parents love each other deeply, and that you'll grow up healthy and happy. The pain of losing a child gradually set in. My stifled sobs could be heard coming from the bathroom. When I came out, I saw Lu Jing sitting on the sofa with a divorce agreement in front of him. Seeing my red, swollen eyes, he mistakenly thought I was heartbroken because he had left me, and a flicker of sorrow crossed his face. He hesitated to speak several times. In the end, he steeled himself and, just like in our past life, proposed a sham divorce to me. I said nothing, meeting his gaze with a cold stare. Seeing that I remained unmoved, he sighed softly. Ran. Let's talk about Ayuan. I didn't say anything and sat down across from him. He explained in detail. I've known her since we were kids. After the Su family went bankrupt, she went abroad with her mother. Later, her mother arranged for her to marry a wealthy man who had a violent temper and frequently abused her, causing her serious physical and emotional harm, especially during those 2 years of the divorce proceedings. That bastard kept sending people to try to drag her back. She lived in constant fear every day, eventually suffered a nervous breakdown, and couldn't be left alone for a moment. I've been by her side throughout her treatment these past 2 years, and she was gradually getting better. But after she found out I was getting married, her condition suddenly took a turn for the worse. The doctor said she can't handle any more stress. I want her to live a normal life. Ran. You understand me, right? He looked up at me with an earnest gaze. He told me about Xiao Jaiwen's hardships and struggles, trying to. Oh no, demanding that I agree with his approach. He repeatedly insisted that they were innocent, that he now regarded her only as a younger sister, and that he would immediately remarry me once she recovered. But he didn't realize that the look of tenderness and concern on his face as he spoke and the anger in his expression when he mentioned her ex-husband didn't at all reflect the perspective of an older brother. I've seen him when he's in love, so I naturally know what he's like when he loves someone. My fingers clenched slightly. I thought I no longer cared about him, but when I saw the look on his face as he showed her his favor once again, I still felt hurt, sad, angry, and resentful. My heart ached as if it had been pierced by a sharp knife. It was riddled with holes, and the pain cut to the bone. But I didn't fly into a hysterical rage like I did in my past life. I did my best to suppress the emotions churning inside me. "Okay," I said flatly. He paused for a moment, then looked up at me in disbelief. Regardless of his reaction, I lowered my gaze, picked up the pen from the table, and signed my name on the divorce agreement. The brushstrokes are firm, crisp, and clean. Lu Jing suddenly felt a pang of anxiety and unease. Ran. Trust me or the only one in my heart. Once this is over, I'll take you on a trip abroad. Oh, and I still owe you a wedding. I'll throw you a grand one when the time comes. Don't worry. It's just a fake divorce. I'll always love you. He held me close and comforted me over and over again. His tone was gentler than ever before. I leaned against his chest, listening to the thudding of his heartbeat, and a cold smile silently curled at the corners of my mouth. Do you love me? I believed that when Su Ziyuan showed up. In our past life, he was truly kind to me. Though he had a reserved personality, he was very thoughtful. He took to heart every casual remark I made and every little thing I mentioned. We once had some sweet and happy times together. When did things start to change? It was our 2nd year of marriage, and he was frequently traveling abroad on business. I thought he was just too busy with work. I never expected it was to support my childhood friend through her divorce proceedings. It was him, the one who always buys me blueberry cake, who suddenly bought me a strawberry cake. At the time, I grumbled unhappily. Why does it have to be strawberry? He paused for a moment, his eyes shifting nervously. I didn't want you to get tired of it, so I thought I'd switch things up every now and then. I later found out that it was Seo Jaiwan who liked strawberry cake. Whenever he bought me clothes and jewelry from the latest haute couture collection, he could never seem to find the pieces I liked. I thought it would be hard to get my hands on, until I saw it on Seo Jaiwan. After she returned home, Lu Jing showered her with gifts, including a house, a car, and shares in his company. He never told her he loved her, but his actions spoke volumes. Every word he says to me is full of love, but his actions show no love at all. Just then, there was a thud at the door. Looking back, Su Ziyuan stood in the doorway, gazing at Lu Jing with tear-filled eyes. Am I interrupting you? She bit her lip, fought back tears, and turned to leave. Lu Jing looked panicked, suddenly pushed me away, and ran after her. I heard his voice coming from the doorway. I want you to help me blow dry my hair. You used to always do it for me. Jing, are you done with me too? The man spoke softly. No. As long as you want me to, I'll always be here. As they spoke, the two of them naturally fell into each other's arms. Excuse me, I forgot something. I looked calmly at the two of them and handed the divorce papers to Lu Jing. Lu Jing looked a little stiff. He instinctively tried to hide Su Ziyuan behind him, his eyes darting nervously toward me, afraid I might do something to her. Su Ziyuan leaned against him and shot me a defiant glance. I coldly shut the door. I looked at the calendar on my phone and calculated the time. 34 days to go. The next day, Lu Jing and I went to the Civil Affairs Bureau to register our marriage. You can only obtain your marriage certificate after a 1-month cooling-off period. On the way back, he suddenly spoke up. Ran. Don't let Mom and Dad know about this just yet. And Grandpa's about to have surgery. Anyway, we'll end up getting back together eventually, so letting them know will just cause trouble. I snorted. That would cause trouble for your little sweetheart, wouldn't it, Lu Jing? But you don't know this, I won't remarry you. I couldn't be happier about this divorce. The company has arranged for me to go on a 1-week business trip on short notice. I hurriedly packed up and left. When I returned from my business trip, the villa had undergone a complete transformation. The large patch of roses I planted with my own hands in the garden has now been completely uprooted and replaced with jasmine. The interior furnishings and decor of the villa have been completely renovated. The spot where my photo with Lu Ji-in used to be was now taken up by a photo of him and Su Ziyuan. I glanced casually around the room and headed upstairs. I opened the bedroom door, only to find that all my belongings were gone, and Su Ziyuan was sitting there. I was startled. I went inside and looked around. But the item that had been in the drawer was gone. Su Ziyuan. This is my room now. Get out. Where's the bracelet from my drawer? I asked her, struggling to keep my anger in check. Is this what you're talking about? She raised her wrist and smiled faintly. It's on my wrist. Do you like it? Give it back. My parents perished in the fire, and our house was reduced to ashes. That bracelet is the only memento my parents left me when I was born. My parents had it custom made for me and specially invited a master to bless it, so that I might be blessed with a lifetime of safety and good health. I really like it. I'll take it. She gave me a defiant smile. Jing said everything in this villa belongs to me. Since you're already divorced from him, you have no right to take his things. That's mine. I didn't waste any time arguing with her. I just reached out and snatched it. Seeing that she couldn't outmaneuver me, Su Ziyuan deliberately threw the bracelet on the ground. Clang! The bracelet broke. My body froze in place. My mind went blank, and I tremblingly picked up the shards of the bracelet. Su Ziyuan gave a sarcastic smile. Oh! What a shame the bracelet's broken. I was so furious that my whole body was shaking uncontrollably. Tears streamed down my face, and I shouted, Seo Jaiwan, you deserve to die. Seeing the fierce look in my eyes, Su Ziyuan took 2 frightened steps back. I stepped forward and raised my hand to slap her. The next moment, someone grabbed my wrist tightly. Lu Jing's furious face came into view, and he warned me menacingly, Jiang Ran, don't you dare. Without a moment's hesitation, I raised my other hand and slapped Su Ziyuan hard across the face. I slapped Lu Jing again on a whim, my voice trembling with anger. Get lost. She broke my bracelet. His expression changed, and he glanced back at Su Ziyuan. She tentatively tugged at the hem of his shirt and said with a look of hurt, I didn't mean to. He was silent for a moment, then gently wiped the tears from the corner of my eye. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I shouldn't have snapped at you. When a Yuan gets upset, she can't help but react impulsively. But she doesn't mean any harm. She doesn't even know what this bracelet means. Please don't hold it against her. Okay. Don't be upset. I'll have the best craftsman fix your bracelet for you. My pupils suddenly contracted, and it felt as if someone had ripped a hole right through my heart, blood gushing out. The pain so intense I couldn't breathe. In an instant, all the sadness, resentment, and anger flooded my mind. He knows how important this bracelet is to me, yet he still chose to stand by Su Ziyuan without hesitation. He wouldn't even let her say she was sorry. I raised my hand to slap him. Lu Jing, you're truly amazing. You were willing to divorce me for her sake. And I agreed, but why did you bring her into our home? Why did you let her uproot my roses, take over my bedroom, and go rummaging through my things? Just because she's mentally ill, I have to put up with her all the time. What about next time? What if she tries to force you to sleep with her by threatening to kill herself? Am I supposed to just grin and bear it while I pack you up and send you to her bed? Is it because she's sick, or do you have other motives? Enough. Jiang Ran, you're getting way out of line. Lu Jing instinctively glanced at Su Ziyuan. Seeing her pale face, his guilty expression gradually turned cold. You'd better stop. I couldn't be bothered to argue with him, so I dragged my suitcase out of the villa. Lu Jing came to chase after me, but Su Ziyuan went berserk and stopped him. I went back to my old place, tidied up a bit, and settled in. 26 days to go. In the days that followed, I completed the necessary enrollment procedures and booked my flight home, finished the current project, wrap things up as soon as possible, and focus on my studies. After leaving the villa, I stopped meddling in Lu Jing and Su Ziyuan's affairs. Whether they're making out or sleeping together in the villa, it's none of my business. However, Once I refocused on myself, Lu Jing started texting me constantly, checking in regularly and proactively updating them on my daily schedule. Just like in my past life, I tried my hardest to mend our relationship, only to be met with indifference, just as he emotionally neglected me in our past life. That's exactly how I'm emotionally neglecting him now. Just ignore the messages. If you feel like it, reply with a couple of words. Are you annoying or what? Can't you see I'm working? I'm busy. I don't have time to waste on you. He called me, but I didn't answer. He came to pick me up after work, but I was working late. He sensed my indifference and stopped pestering me so often. Instead, he had people send me flowers and deliver all kinds of new season luxury clothing and jewelry to my home. I looked at those things and gave a cold laugh. In a past life, these things appeared on Suzy Yuan. Nowadays, I don't even want it anymore. But he's the one who's eager to bring it to me. I ignored him, snapped a quick photo, and sent it to Suzy Yuan. That day, Lu Jing didn't send me any more harassing messages. Suzy Yuan posted an update on her Moments feed that evening. After 7 years apart, you're finally back by my side. This time, I'll hold you tight. The accompanying photo shows the backs of 2 people embracing on the beach. I liked her post and left a comment. May your blessings last forever. Within seconds, the post was deleted. The very next moment, Lu Jing called. As soon as I answered the phone, he started yelling at me. Jiang Ran, what did you mean by that comment? Are you trying to make a big deal out of this? It's just a WeChat moment post. Is there really any need to be so sarcastic? Haven't you taken it out on me enough these past few days? There's a limit to how unreasonable you can be. In his eyes, all of this was just me trying to pull the wool over his eyes because I didn't want a sham divorce. Suzy Yuan was crying, her voice full of hurt as she said, Jing, does Miss Jiang blame me? But I didn't mean to do it. You had just accepted my confession the day before. But when I woke up, 8 years had passed, and my boyfriend had become someone else's husband. I see. So she had another emotional breakdown and lost her memory again. Lu Jingwen said softly. It's not your fault. We were already planning to get a divorce. When he turned to me, his tone turned stern. Jiang Ran, apologize. It made me laugh so hard I was in tears. I muttered, 2 lunatics. If they've got nothing better to do, they should get their heads checked. I glanced at the countdown on the calendar, took a deep breath, and told myself not to get angry. Not to get angry. 18 days to go. I'll just have to bear with it for a little while longer. On the day we picked up our divorce certificate, Lu Jing drove down to pick me up. He seemed to have dressed up for the occasion, wearing a red suit I had never seen before, bright and festive. Anyone who didn't know might think we were going to get our marriage license today. When Lu Jing met my gaze, he clearly looked a little guilty. Seated in the passenger seat was Suzy Yuan, wearing a red dress. They look like matching outfits. It goes without saying who prepared the clothes. I suddenly remembered the look on his face when I asked him to wear the same pink hoodie as me on a date, and how he coldly refused. I actually found it a bit funny. It turns out he didn't dislike brightly colored clothes. It was just the wrong person. Get in the car. Grandpa is having surgery this afternoon. It was his request. Lu Jing rarely took the initiative to explain. Without showing any emotion, I turned and got into the car in front. Lu Jingwen's gentle expression suddenly darkened, and he fixed his gaze intently on my back. I felt a vague sense of unease in my chest. That uneasy feeling grew stronger the closer I got to the Civil Affairs Bureau. As he stood in line, he glanced out the window at the gloomy sky, which was so oppressive it made him feel uneasy. He glanced again at me, who looked impassive. Suddenly, I don't feel like getting a divorce anymore. Ran, let's not get a divorce, okay? Or maybe you're right, there are plenty of other ways to treat Yuan's illness. I don't necessarily have to get a divorce. I was taken aback, then asked him in return, what if she doesn't get better with any other method? Are you asking me to put up with her clinging to you for the rest of my life? You don't want a divorce, but I do. using that as an excuse. I said firmly, Lee, get her treated and sent away as soon as possible. I don't want to see you two acting so intimate and suggestive anymore. Upon hearing my words, Lu Jing breathed a quiet sigh of relief, and the unease in his heart vanished instantly. He clasped my hand, his voice unusually gentle. Okay, let's go on vacation together then. Come to think of it, we've been married for 3 years and still haven't gone on our honeymoon. Lu Jing, who is usually a man of few words, was unusually talkative today. After going on and on about their future vacation plans, they drew curious glances from the people nearby. After all, no one would be discussing honeymoon plans with their soon-to-be ex-wife at the divorce registry office. I'm all smiles on the outside, but inside I'm like, FCK this. You idiot. Who wants to go on a honeymoon with you? I'm taking off tomorrow, now that I have my divorce certificate. I'm in high spirits. As I stepped out of the Civil Affairs Bureau, I looked up at the sky. The sun was breaking through the dark clouds, and the weather was gradually clearing up. A gentle breeze blows, ruffling my hair and sweeping away all my worries. For the rest of my life, I will walk toward the light. When she saw us come out, Su Ziyuan immediately ran over to Lu Jing, took the divorce certificate from his hand, and broke into a smile. Lu Jing walked past her and came to stand beside me. I'm going to see Grandpa later. Will you come with me? I smiled at him, a rare moment of kindness on my part. No, thanks. I've already ordered a ride. Different cars. But arriving together, Lu Jing and I walked hand in hand to Grandpa's hospital room, looking just like a loving couple. I just nodded along with whatever he said, occasionally looking down and smiling shyly. I played this kind of role for 3 years in my past life, so I know it inside out. Grandpa didn't notice anything was wrong, worried that the surgery might not go well. He gave us a lot of advice. In a past life, the word Su Ziyuan left behind after her death caused quite a stir. When Grandpa found out, he was so overcome with anger that his condition worsened, and he passed away before he could undergo surgery. This time, the surgery was a success. The weight on my mind has finally been lifted, and I have no more worries. On the last night, I stayed up to keep vigil over Grandpa. My flight is at noon. When I got home, I dragged my already packed luggage to the airport. When I reached the entrance to the complex, I saw Lu Jing getting out of his car. When he saw me loaded down with bags and holding my passport, his expression changed, and he strode toward me. Where are you going? My body stiffened slightly, and I cursed him inwardly for picking such a bad time. But I kept my composure and spoke calmly. The company sent me on a last-minute business trip. He furrowed his brow and said, Isn't your project nearing completion? What's so urgent? The two companies work together, and the boss is actually quite familiar with him. He knows how my work is going, but he doesn't know that I've already quit. I smiled and blurted out, What do you know about my work? Lu Jing was taken aback. He often said that to me, just as he was about to say something else. His phone rang. It was the housekeeper from the villa. I thought I heard the names Su Ziyuan and Mrs. Lu. Upon hearing this, his expression changed drastically. He no longer paid any attention to me and turned the car around to drive away. As for me, I got into another car and headed in the opposite direction. Goodbye, Lu Jing. I've even prepared a farewell gift just for you. I hope you like it. When I left, I didn't tell anyone. I just left a letter and a document for Mrs. Lu. Tell her how Su Ziyuan tried to force Lu Jing and me to divorce by threatening to kill herself. And when Lu Jing started seeing Su Ziyuan, I am also attaching a document detailing the collusion between Su Ziyuan and a certain psychiatrist. Tell Mrs. Lu everything about how Su Ziyuan has been acting crazy. The reason is that Su Ziyuan's mother had once been Lu's father's mistress and Dee had even gone to Lu's mother's house to provoke her. Later, after Su's mother was abandoned by Lu's father, she went on to find another rich heir. This time she learned her lesson and went to see him only after she had secretly given birth to the child. That rich kid is a womanizer. He's happy to have kids, but he doesn't want a wife. Su Ziyuan stayed with the Su family and grew up in the same social circle as Lu Jing. It wasn't until the two began dating in their senior year of high school that Lu's mother discovered Su Ziyuan's background and immediately broke them up. Like her mother, Su Ziyuan chose to take the 5 million yuan and quietly leave the country. At that time, my family had just moved to this city due to my company's expansion. Lu's father and my dad used to be comrades in arms, and over time, our two families grew closer. In an effort to help her son get over Su Ziyuan, Lu's mother went out of her way to set me up with Lu Jing. I'm a total sucker for good looks. Lu Jing is handsome, tall, and has long legs, and he happens to be exactly my type, so I started pursuing him. After that, we just naturally ended up together. Before Su Ziyuan appeared, I had no idea that Lu Jing had a past romance that never worked out. Mrs. Lu really likes me. She's always been so kind to me over the years and treats me like her own daughter. In a past life, when she found out that Lu Jing had been emotionally abusing me for 3 years, she stormed into his office and beat him until he coughed up blood. After I became pregnant, I decided to leave all the assets in my name to my child. Therefore, even if I were to leave, there is absolutely no chance that Su Ziyuan could take my place as Mrs. Lu. Mrs. Lu would never accept her son falling for the daughter of a mistress. I'm no saint. I can't forgive Su Ziyuan for wreaking havoc on my marriage and then just walking away after faking her own death. And I certainly can't forgive Lu Jing for 3 years of emotional abuse. No one knows how much I suffered during those 3 years, tormented by endless self-doubt, insecurity, loneliness, and pain. I won't let them have their way. I hope they spend the rest of their lives in the same pain, loneliness, and despair that I endured in my past life. After getting off the plane, I stayed at a hotel for a while. I thought I wouldn't be able to sleep when I arrived in a foreign country all by myself, but I never expected it to be the most restful sleep I've had since coming back to life. The next day, I made an appointment with a real estate agent to view a property. Once we found a place to live, we went to the school to complete the enrollment procedures, and everything went smoothly. Life as a graduate student is very fulfilling. Attending classes, reviewing literature, writing papers, and holding group meetings. I joined some clubs in my free time and made quite a few new friends. I've had a new experience in my life. It wasn't until 3 months later that I heard from Lu Jing again. I ran into Lu Jing's friend on the street, and he was surprised to see me. He said Lu Jing has been looking for me like crazy these past 3 months. People say I'm really heartless. I actually left Lu Jing behind. According to him, Mrs. Lu showed up at Lu Jing's place the day after I left and beat up Su Ziyuan. As soon as Lu Jing discovered Su Ziyuan's true nature, he immediately sent her away. It turns out that Su Ziyuan didn't just pretend to be mentally ill to deceive Lu Jing. Even her claims of domestic abuse while abroad were fabricated. She wasn't forced into marriage by Su's mother. She was attracted to his wealth. So she actively seduced him and successfully secured her position by using her pregnancy as leverage. But before that, she had been promiscuous. So when the baby was born, its skin tone was off. After being cheated on for no apparent reason, her husband was naturally furious and wanted to hit her. She didn't resist. Instead, she went out of her way to please him, until her husband's family ran into financial trouble, at which point she immediately filed for divorce and even hired someone to run him over, leaving him in a vegetative state. That's why that family has never let her off the hook. And the reason she got back together with Lu Jing wasn't because she loved him, but because she was after his family's wealth. After being told to leave, Su Ziyuan, unwilling to accept it, showed up several times at the company building and the entrance to the villa to confront Lu Jing. Lu Jing was furious and immediately sent her back to her ex-husband's family. To prevent her from running away, the family broke her legs, forcing her to spend the rest of her life at home caring for her paralyzed ex-husband. He also said that Lu Jing couldn't find a place to stay after a night of heavy drinking and ended up in the hospital several times. He urged me to go back and see Lu Jing. After all, he didn't really cheat on me, just need to give him a good scolding so he realizes his mistake. After all, he's always loved me. I looked down and smiled, stirring the coffee in my cup slowly with a spoon as the aroma filled the air, then said in a calm tone, I heard what you were saying in the private room. My friend paused mid-sentence and suddenly looked up at me. That day was the 19th day of the divorce cooling-off period, and it was also my friend's birthday. She was sitting across from me. Lu Jing didn't take me. Instead, he openly took Su Ziyuan. On my last day at work, we had a farewell dinner. I stepped out to take a call, and as I was walking back past a private dining room, I heard someone call out Lu Jing's name. I instinctively stopped in my tracks and peeked through the crack in the door, where I saw Lu Jing and a few of his friends. Someone asked, "No way. Lu Jing, you're serious? Are you really going to divorce Jiang Ran for your ex-girlfriend?" "Yeah. Aren't you afraid she'll run away?" Lu Jing chuckled softly, swirled the wine glass in his hand, and said with confidence, "She won't. She can't live without me. Besides, she's an orphan now. Without me, where could she possibly go? You know how I just say a few nice words and she'll be all over you in a flash." His brother burst out laughing. That's true. The moment Jiang Ran laid eyes on Lu Jing, she was completely smitten. Ever since then, she's been following him around like a lapdoggia can't shake her off. I clenched my fists and let out a wry smile. So all these years we've been together, and in his eyes I've just been a total suck-up. Just then, Su Ziyuan's voice, tinged with sarcasm, rang out behind me. "So you were the one who threw yourself at him? No wonder when Jing and I just mentioned it in passing, he immediately agreed to divorce you. As a woman myself, let me give you some advice. Love yourself. Don't just throw yourself at every handsome guy you see. It makes you look cheap." She wanted to provoke me, but I didn't give her the satisfaction. Instead, I gave her a faint smile. No matter what. At least I wouldn't go throwing myself at other people's husbands. That's just sleazy. Whether you said it offhand or begged for it with your life on the line. You know the answer yourself. When I called her out on it, Su Ziyuan's face flushed red and then turned pale. She gave my shoulder a sharp nudge and, with her head held high and chest puffed out, walked into the private room. As soon as she walked in, the people inside started teasing her. Amid the cheers, she sat down next to Lu Jing, shyly leaning against his shoulder. A blush spread across her cheeks, but she didn't forget to glance at me, flashing a defiant smile. I watched as Lu Jing put his arm around her shoulders and spoke up in her defense. "Come on. Don't say that. She gets shy easily." A tinge of irritation welled up inside him, and he turned and walked away. The friend across from him looked awkward and didn't know what else to say. The next day, I ran into Lu Jing at school. I wasn't surprised, given his abilities. It was only a matter of time before he found me. He flew here overnight and looked exhausted. Ran. Our friend shot us meaningful glances and whispered, asking what our relationship was. I casually replied, "My ex-husband." Lu Jing's eyes flickered, and his expression seemed to betray the shock of a severe blow. He quickly explained, "No, I'm her husband." I interrupted him. "Lu Jing, let's talk." We sat down on a bench on campus. He tilted his head, his gaze fixed firmly on me, his voice low and strained. "I never really intended to divorce you. Back then, Xiao Jiwen threatened to kill herself. When her family went bankrupt, my mother paid her 5 million won to send her abroad, which forced her to marry someone overseas and led to domestic abuse. I thought I was the cause of her misfortune and felt guilty. So I wanted to make it up to her. I just want her to get better as soon as possible so she can get back to a normal life. But I never expected that it was all a lie. She deceived me. Honey, there's really nothing going on between me and her. I haven't cheated on you. I've restored the interior of the house, and I've replanted the roses in the garden." I gazed at him quietly, my expression unreadable. He seemed to have read my mind. His face grew pale, and a look of sorrow crept across his gaunt features. "Even if I hadn't cheated on you, would you still never forgive me?" I nodded slightly. His eyes were red-rimmed as he gripped my hand tightly and asked, "Why?" "Just because I faked a divorce from you for her sake." As I looked at him, I felt as though I were seeing a mad version of my past self. One who had also kept asking him over and over why he had to go through with the fake divorce. I felt an inexplicable sense of satisfaction at getting my revenge. I smiled. Do you know why I suddenly decided to come to this school? Since you mentioned back then that you wanted to transfer here, I studied for the exam on the sly while working, hoping to surprise you when the time came. But what about you? What's the real reason you came here? Is it for your childhood sweetheart to help her get a divorce? Over the past 2 years, how many times have you abandoned me for her? On my birthday, our wedding anniversary, when I was sick and waited up all night for you, and even when my parents passed away. During my most painful and helpless moments, you weren't there for me. With all these incidents, how dare you say you haven't cheated? No, you just haven't physically cheated. Stop saying I'm the only one in your heart. I don't believe you. I don't feel your love. Lu Jing's face went pale, and a single tear rolled down the corner of his eye. No, honey. Can you forgive me this once? I've already sent Susie Yuan away. She won't show up in front of you again. He cried, and his tears fell onto the back of my hand. Strangely enough, I found it somewhat amusing. The first time I saw him cry was in his past life, when he learned of Susie Yuan's death. At that moment, his eyes were red from crying, and he clenched his fists tightly around my shoulders, attacking me like a furious beast. Jiang ran. She's dead. Are you happy now? Are you satisfied? These tears are so cheap. I pulled my hand back and wiped it on his clothes, making no attempt to hide my disgust for him. That's not good. I don't accept trash here. Lu Jing froze. His eyes filled with sorrow as he looked at me. Ever since that day, he's been following me around like a completely different person. He moved in across the street from me, picked me up for school every day, bought me breakfast, brought me lunch and dinner, and would occasionally send me a bouquet of flowers or gifts like handbags and jewelry. He even had the nerve to ask to join some of the social events or dinners held outside the office. Chase them away. His sincerity won the sympathy and trust of many classmates and neighbors, who all spoke up for him and urged me to forgive him. You couldn't find a man like that even if you searched high and low. I didn't know how to explain it to them, so I just replied, well, I hope you find a partner like him someday. No matter what they say. That's all I'll say. As time went on, they began to see things differently. It seemed that things weren't quite as they appeared at first glance. After that, no one spoke up for him anymore. Because of work, he has to go back to his home country to work, so he can only fly over to see me on weekends. In the years that followed, after completing my master's degree, I decided to stay on at the university to pursue a PhD. I ignored Lu Jing completely. There's absolutely no chance between us. 2 lives stand between us. To forgive him would be to betray my past self and that unborn child. 3 years later, I was sitting in the library writing my thesis when I suddenly got a call from Lu's mother. Lu Jing was in a car accident and died despite efforts to save him. When I heard the news, I was taken aback, because today is the very day I died in my past life. Is this what you call karma? I don't know. I suddenly felt a great weight lift from my heart. Outside the window, the downpour suddenly stopped, and sunlight broke through the clouds, falling on me. It carries away the dampness of the rain, leaving behind a gentle warmth. From then on, nothing stood in my way, and I strode forward under the blazing sun.